So Trump won the presidency. What are the top 10 changes that will happen in his next term, considering immigration? Number one, he's going to start mass deportations. Now, it costs around $11,000 to deport just one person, so it's not that he can just start rounding people up on buses and sending them back. But what can he do? The first thing he's going to do is try to start executing deportation orders that are already in effect. And the easiest way to do that is he's going to have ICE detain people at OSIP check-ins. That's going to become more common. He can start detaining and ordering ICE to show up at USCIS interviews of people married to U.S. citizens, for example, and also start detaining people more frequently at companies, at bus stops, and checkpoints, things like that he did in the past. Number two is he's going to make things more complicated and easier to win lawful immigration applications. For example, he's going to most likely return to the time that, like he did in his first term, where everyone is going to get the interview no matter what. So that's one thing that Biden did to speed things up, is skip the interview in a lot of cases. But Trump did the opposite by making everyone have an interview. That will most likely go back into effect, as well as stopping the use of requests for evidence. There was a while in his first term that they weren't really giving requests for evidence. Instead, they would just straight out deny your case if you were missing an important document, for example. There was also something that Trump was doing in the past, that if you didn't have absolutely every blank on the application filled out completely, including an NA, which means not applicable, if there was something that didn't apply to your case, then the case would get rejected. So he's going to make things easier, things will more difficult, and things will take longer. He's going to deny cases, even lawful applications, right? The H-1B case, for example, under Trump's first term, there was a 25% denial rate versus it's only 4% denial rate under Biden. So cases will take a little bit longer as well and be more likely to get denied. He's going to try to most likely end a lot of humanitarian programs. That includes DACA. It includes the paroles, the humanitarian paroles for people from certain countries. The I-131F, of course, which is a parole in place for spouses of citizens, will most likely die no matter what happens on the decision with the federal judge. It's most likely going to get ended as soon as Trump takes over. And even military parole in place might be ended if it's up to Trump, as well as TPS is in danger. So most likely he's not going to renew TPS for future countries, but he can also try to end it immediately for a couple of countries that we know are on the chopping block, most likely Venezuela and Haiti. Okay. Number four, he's going to severely restrict entries at the border, even worse than they are right now. The CBP-1 will most likely go away, and there will most likely be criminal penalties for illegal entries. Number five, asylum is going to be even harder than it already is to apply for and harder to win. They're probably going to reinstate the return to Mexico, wait in Mexico policy, as well as not even letting you file for asylum if you have a third safe country that you could have filed your asylum in. Number six, USCIS denials can lead to the case getting referred to ICE for a notice to appear. That's something that was happening a lot more often under the first Trump administration, and we expect that to return. Number seven, court cases. If you have a case with the EOIR, it's going to become much more difficult. So the first thing is we know that prosecutorial discretion is going to be gone. Pretty much only very, very severe cases would the government consider to close those cases. But I know in the first Trump term, it was nearly impossible to get a case closed out of immigration court. It's possible that they reopen administratively closed cases. Okay? Everything in court is going to be much more backlogged as well. but it's going to be very hard to close cases. Number 8, work permits are most likely going to go back to just 1 year instead of the 5 years that they last now for most types of cases. Number 9, there's going to be attempts to revoke green cards and denaturalize. So it won't be automatic, and these are in more extreme cases, but there was a task force that Trump created to denaturalize people who already received their U.S. citizenship when he was in office the first time, and they're going to most likely revamp that effort. And number 10, birthright citizenship could be challenged. As we know, the Republicans also took over the Senate, so even changes that need to happen in Congress, it's possible that with control of the Senate that this could in fact happen. He has mentioned a lot that he's going to challenge birthright citizenship, so it's something that we have to look out for. Now, if you have an immigration case pending, or if you are worried because you have a deportation order, what can you do now? So, what can you do now? First thing is get your immigration record. If you have anything that you ever filed in the past, I recommend to get your FOIA so that you have a copy of everything and you understand what the government has against you, as well as all the documents you would need if you need to take further steps in your case. Number 2, I recommend that you file anything that you can right now that you qualify for. So if you qualify for a family petition, if you can marry your U.S. citizen girlfriend, if you can file a U visa, anything that you could file it now. Specifically, if you have any case in court and you don't have a slam dunk case, a great idea would be to try a motion for prosecutorial discretion, PD,